Alrighty guys, so this weekend full of chores. I've come to do the first chore actually, or task I should say, which was to come and collect some beeswax and honey from a local bee farmer. So I've done that. Now I'm heading to the hardware store to get some potting mix and some seedling starter and flower starter, and then heading home and gonna do some of the things that are on my list and plan for what I can do over the rest of the week. So this weekend is catching up on a lot of things because this is the second week now after the first week after COVID. So feeling much better obviously, but there's heaps of stuff to catch up on. So anyway, let's get on to our day because we've got a lot of things to do. Alrighty, so Mr. Wheelie, have I shown you guys Mr. Wheelie? I'll show you now. Mr. Wheelie. Ha ha. So this, I actually got this last week when my dad was here. I ordered it the week before when I was sick, but it arrived like the last day my dad was here, so he helped me put it together. It's rated at 500 kilos, so you can take 500 kilos of stuff. And the reason I actually got it was because obviously I was sick with COVID, as was my dad and my husband at the same time. I gave it to them. But the problem was that I had a whole bunch of deliveries coming in. And this has been a problem for a long time anyway. Like, this isn't just immune to the time I had COVID, but it was particularly felt at the time I had COVID because obviously I couldn't, walk around. I was tired, unwell, all that sort of stuff. So I've loaded this up. I've got 100 kilos of seed mix on here. So anyway, I found this online. It was the same price as one for 350 kilos. And on top of that, it had a $20 discount. So that worked out actually cheaper. I got one that's rated heavier for much cheaper. So I picked this up so that I can go and get parcels from down the driveway because we don't always leave the homestead and I predominantly work from home. And so, we very rarely actually have to leave the property, which means we're not always down the other end of the driveway, with a car or with the ute or whatever. So I bought this trolley so that I could actually walk down the driveway, and when there's multiple packages, I could actually go and collect them. And I've been wanting one of these trolleys for ages actually, and Serge kept saying, oh no, you don't need it, you'll be fine, we'll find one second hand. And I thought, brand new, I can get it, it's got like a year warranty, whatever, it'll be fine. So see, I'm still pooped from COVID. So anyway, I picked it up, purchased it, and it came. Dad and I put it together, and now I use it for lots of things. So obviously I put my stuff for the garden in there, which I've done now. And I also have been using it to take the horses' feed bags. Walking right through a cobweb. Take the horses' feed bags like from the car instead of having to take the car all the way there, and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's been really useful. As I said, I've wanted one of these for some time, and I just decided, bugger it, I'm just gonna buy it because I need it. So this is its first maiden voyage on the homestead in the backyard, as it hauls a bunch of seed starter mix to my working table. Yeah, pretty exciting. So right, now that I've hauled that here, I'm gonna go make a quick cup of coffee, and then we'll do some seeds. We'll get some seeds ready for the garden. I think that'll be fun. New review on these Ariat boots. I bought them a couple of weeks ago, and they're super comfortable. I've never had this type of boot before, like a work boot. They're really comfortable. You can ride in them. I don't. I've got other riding boots, but I needed something to like be able to be like, in all day. And they're great. Okay, now I'm getting onto my seedlings. I do have some that I started a couple of weeks ago. I used the soil that we use in the garden, just to premium organic soil. I think it was far too sandy, the blend that they made up last time, because I've had trouble with seedlings this year. So I went and got some specialty potting mix, and I'm going to use the stuff that I've already made up from a couple of weeks ago for the potatoes, because the potatoes love it for some reason. So let's get into it. Picked up these last week. They're from Kmart. I've seen them all over the internet. There's quite a few people that save seeds using these containers. They're just craft containers, but they're actually craft containers that hold photos. And anyway, I found them at Spotlight for 50 bucks. Had a look at Amazon, it was like $70 plus. Kmart had them for $15 a pop. So you get these containers inside, and they're perfect for seed storage. I'll quickly show you. So this is the size of the container. So I can label them, but predominantly I try and put one type of vegetable seed in. Obviously this one is capsicum, this one is lettuce, different types of lettuce, and I've got all sorts of different things, whatever I've purchased. This one's chili. It's all my chili in there. So obviously it's really good as well, like if you save seeds or if you're swapping seeds with other homesteaders or your mates or whatever, you can store all different types in this container. So I find them really, really good. And today I have got tomato seedlings. What did I put? Tomato, I think radish, and something else I put in there. And then they haven't kicked off yet. So I've bought this specific purpose seed starter mix, and I think I might just do like one row of a few different things just to see how we go. All right, so it's a whole operation today. I've still got heaps of seed starter. What I'm going to do, this is a new addition that I just bought for the garden. It's called a Mr. Stacky. This is the medium size. There's a larger size that's taller than this one, but I think this one should be good enough for me. It's really, really good. It's an Australian made one. It's got this pipe basically in it. You connect all these trays and you can basically fill them. So what I'm going to do is put some potting mix at the bottom, and then put some seed mix at the top, and then put a bunch of herbs in here. So the only thing I've got to do is find a spot where I can put this kind of in this area where the dogs won't touch it either. Alright, so this is kind of what I've decided to do. I'll pop it here. My only concern would be if big wind comes or big rain comes, it might get knocked about. But this way I can still come and water everything because the hose is just here, and anything that I plant here to grow will grow. Yeah, I think that's good. Alright, so that's how it's going to look. It's got a little bit of this, then a top layer of this, then I'll put seeds in, and then put the next layer on. And sits kind of like that. Pretty cool, huh? So do the same thing here. So this potting mix, I just got like a generic potting mix from the hardware store. I haven't sifted this, so this has bits of bark and all that kind of stuff, because I'm using it to fill, like it's premium soil, but I'm using it to backfill and just putting the seed start mix kind of at the top, like the top layer. And the seed start mix is obviously much more expensive, so I don't want to use, you know, an excess of it just for the garden. because I need it for starting seeds, obviously. So this does have chunks of bark. If they're too big, I'll pull them out, but if they're little like this, I'll kind of leave them. These seeds are so small for the oregano. Then I'm just literally just picking them up and putting them in as best as I can. Look how tiny they are. They're so small. I don't like it. Alrighty, I got it now. So the connector, the wider connector here, was supposed to be put on an empty tub, and I put a full tub on there. So I've now fixed it so that it sits properly, because I knew that when we put it together it was different to how it looked. Mr. Stacky has now been put together. I mixed up that one and that one, so I'm not sure, I can't remember what it was, but it should be okay now. I'm going to quickly water it and we're done. Alrighty gang, so I wanted to show you what I did with the poo pickup. So we've got the garden space that we're preparing for the flower garden. So I call it the flower garden, but it's not necessarily just flowers. It's going to be, you know, like a nice garden. So we've got an area planned out, which I'll show you in a tick. And what I've been doing is I've been backfilling it with Moose's poo. So number one, I'm backfilling it so that when I do bring soil in, I don't have to put as much soil. Number two, I'm backfilling it because his poo is very, very clean in terms of, like, you know, what kind of food he eats and that kind of thing. So it's really, really good for the garden. And I found whenever I've done the last 3 or 4 projects I've done on the property where I have put poo and hay that he's weed on and biochar and all that kind of stuff right at the bottom and then put soil at the top, whatever I've planted has just gone absolutely bonkers, crazy. So I do want to plant flowers here because we have a beehive coming. The beehive will probably be out there. I'm thinking over there because it's also the safest place where Moose won't walk through, because there's too many trees, he won't walk through there, and it's kind of enclosed, so I can actually close that off, you know, like with wire and stuff. So I did 2 loads today. There's probably easily another 2 loads around the property that I can collect. I'm a bit buggered still, recovering from COVID, so I'm not going to do that today. But I want to show you exactly what I'm doing and why. So this is the space. I just did a very, very rough, where those logs are and where these logs are, that's kind of the one side of the shape and the other side of the shape. The lily pillies are just going to have a piece of wood or some logs or something put right at that base, so that they can have some more rocks and irrigation stuff put in there, and, you know, so they can retain water, because at the moment they're kind of on a bit of a peak. They're sort of on a bit of a peak like that, and so sometimes the water runs down. So we need to put rocks probably on the other side and back it up with some mulch and stuff so that they retain moisture. So then here, where this is, all the way snaking out over here to this, that is all going to be backfilled with poo. This needs more, obviously, because there's a discrepancy in the level of the ground. This will need less because it's a lot more flat, but I'll still put it out all across. And then eventually what will happen is, once we get the soil delivery, number one, we're not going to have to bring in as much soil because we'll already have some backfill. Number two, when this starts decomposing and going into the ground and eating up all this grass and all that kind of stuff, it'll be really, really good nutrient base, like nutrient source for the plants and trees and stuff. So some of the things that I'm going to plant out here are going to be those things that are on the table, all those tropical plants and things that I got from my friend's garden, that, you know, and other things that I've propagated myself here from tube stock and other things. So that's going to go out here. These 4 plants are going to be planted here. I've just put them there now for ease of watering. And also some flower beds, some actual flower beds, things like nasturtiums and azaleas and that kind of stuff is going to go out here. So this is another little project that I'm doing at the moment, which is still very much in preparation phase, because I definitely am still preparing the ground and bringing in all the poo and all the nutrients and weed on hay and all that kind of stuff. Alrighty gang, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the things that I'm doing for spring planting, the flower garden, etc, etc. If you have any questions, comments or ideas for anything else that we can do in the garden here at MILO'S farm, let me know in the comments below. I'm always interested to see what other people do in their garden and how they facilitate, you know, growing their own food and having food for bees and local wildlife and the like. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.